Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. Today is Monday, September 8th, and I'm going to explain why I have a reason to make fun of the Dodgers and why T.I. has a reason to make fun of me. Also, we're going to talk fantasy football, so we brought in Alex.
We got Russell Wilson out here looking like Daniel Jones and Daniel Jones looking like Peyton Manning. What world are we living in right now?
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. New episodes are coming to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's the homies. It's Mr. 33,000 followers, Titans Idiot, and Alex Marino, the brother from another mother. We're going to talk fantasy football. We're going to talk college football. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk NFL. But we must start with just hours ago, late last night. My mind is so jumbled on that game, boys, that do we start with the fumble? Do we start with the Ravens just looking unstoppable? Do we start with people leaving the stadium in Buffalo only to find out that they won the game? Like, dude, what were we watching, Alex? Like, what? Can you just tell us what happened?
Derrick Henry and Lamar looked on fire, like early.
Dude.
I mean, I don't remember what Derrick Henry finished with, but at one point he had like 175 yards. He broke off like a 30-yard touchdown, a 50-yard run, and yeah, he was just looking unstoppable. Lamar, he's making all the easy reads to Flowers. Flowers had probably one of his best games tonight.
Easy
He throws
runs,
a dime.
Lamar. Yeah.
He throws a dime to DeAndre Hopkins, like for like a one-handed catch for a touchdown. And yeah, this whole time, Buffalo is like, they're kind of moving slow, but they're still scoring throughout the game. And yeah, it was literally one fumble, the first turnover in the game by Derrick Henry late in the game. They were looking like they were about to ice it. And that changed everything. They got the ball back, kicked a field goal to win it.
They scored 16 points in 4 minutes. I was telling T.I. before the show, dude, that's hard for an NBA team. Like Steph Curry doesn't do that. Like,
I mean, last year they opened up with just a toe, just lost by a toe. So, this year they just lost again by a toe, I mean, it breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart to see Baltimore lose. But yeah, you're not kidding about those numbers. I mean, Zay Flowers, I think, had like 160-something yards receiving. Yeah, I think Henry had 170 yards rushing or whatever. I think Lamar had one or two touchdowns on the ground. I think he had a couple passing touchdowns, and then you got Josh Allen doing the same. I mean, both those guys accounting for 8 touchdowns and a plethora of yards on the ground. Couldn't ask for a better matchup to end, Sunday. But it's kind of like we said in the previous episode. Hey, it sucks that one of those teams had to lose in week 1 in a game like that when that should be a later in the season matchup. But hey, maybe they'll get a chance for a rematch in the playoffs.
When it counts, and then Lamar can lose like in the playoffs, like he does. Or is
81
this
points scored? That's crazy. 81 points scored. Insane.
Who bet the over? Congrats on betting the over. Here's a stat. Last year, Baltimore and Buffalo were number 1 and number 3 respectively in the turnover margin. And I just think it's weird that just one random turnover decides the whole game, and it's a guy that just completely wrecked the game against Buffalo. Like, he was the game wrecker, and then one little fumble, and he had like 3 plays where he got negative yards, and you're like, oh wow, they got Derrick Henry, they got him for a loss. Oh my, okay. One of those plays, boom, also comes with a fumble, and you look up, and Buffalo has the ball in scoring position. They use their timeouts or didn't use them, so they had them. And here's the key of the game. It's 4th and 2. It's Josh Allen. I'm wondering why Harbaugh doesn't go for it. you're assuming you're gonna lose, bro, if you give him the ball. So why not just keep it? It's 4th and 2. You trust your offense. You have Lamar Jackson. You have, I mean, that was the turning point as well, is Baltimore was unstoppable until the final drive of the game and they go 3 and out. Like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. Like, that was the game because you give the ball back to Josh Allen and then you have a lapse in coverage to give up a 40-yard pass, you know. So that was a weird ending. And how many times was there a 2-point conversion gone for and missed or made or this or that? The points were weird and it ended up being a 2-point game with the final seconds. And then here comes Matt Prater, who I think he's been on the team for 11 seconds and now is like player of the game. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Baltimore's kicker, I mean, they missed that extra point. That's kind of like what kept Buffalo in it. All I'm going to say is, like, the script writers were on point for this first Sunday Night Football game.
Yeah. We'll
I was thinking about the Matt Prater situation, you know, and I was listening to it in my car, and I was thinking, like, that conversation, you know, they're like, "Hey, Matt, so we need to talk to you. So Tyler's not going to be ready for the season, so we need you for a few weeks," you know. And I'm just thinking, like, what is that life like for a 40-plus-year-old kicker? You know, it's like, well, we're going to use you for about 3 or 4 games, maybe, you know, and then he goes on to another team. Like, how many teams will Matt Prater see this season? Like, he may see like 3 or 4 teams, you know. So I just thought that was an interesting take, you know, like, because I had no idea until I was listening on the radio that, you know, Tyler, like you said, he's been on the team for 5 minutes, that Tyler Bass wasn't ready and that they had brought him in, you know. So, hey, man. Yeah. Life as an NFL kicker, man. You be making money until you're about 45, 50, you know?
I'd say it'd be the equivalent to, like, an indie wrestler who's, like, you know, nearing 50 years old and just, like, totally out of it. And, like, now you just got to run the circuit.
Yeah, just take every job that comes your way. Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Wrestling Idiot Nation. Be sure to follow all of our Idiot Nation, Sports Idiot Nation. Follow Alex. He's your one-stop shop. We're going to talk for fantasy football. We're going to talk fantasy football. We're going to talk more NFL football. We're going to talk college football. However, this is just a funny story. T.I. is going to get a kick out of it. So, because I'm going to shift to baseball for a second. So, I was watching when we're going to get to UCLA Bruins as well, as they literally screwed the pooch. So, I'm watching the UCLA game Saturday night. I'm watching the Giants play the Cardinals. That is T.I.'s team, because the Giants had won before this story 11 of their last 12 games. The hottest team in baseball, and it's not even close. They are ferociously coming back on the wild card trail. And so I'm into it. I'm back into it. I've given up for a month. But I'm back in, baby, right? True fan. So I'm watching the game. The Giants are up 2-0 in the 9th inning. They've given up 3 hits the entire game. And what do the Cardinals do in the 9th inning? 4 straight hits and walk it off and win 3-2, to my chagrin. All right. So I know T.I.'s happy. Within 37 seconds of this happening, I get a news break. I'm watching on MLB Network, and I can't say his name. It's Asian, and I'm not a hater. I just can't say his name. The pitcher for the Dodgers is pitching a no-hitter. He's got 2 outs and 2 strikes to the batter. Next pitch, he gives up a home run. So they're winning 3-1 now. The Dodgers are winning 3-1 because he gives up a home run. They take him out, and what do the Dodgers do but give up 3 more runs in the 9th and lose 4-3? I'm like, that's awesome. That's like the best ever. Like, you give up a no-hitter with 2 outs and 2 strikes, and then you lose the game when you're up 3. Like,
yeah,
dude,
I hate that the Giants and Dodgers both lost. I hate that.
Yeah. But I knew you'd love that story.
I mean, yeah,
within a minute of happening. That's what I'm saying too.
It's a good story. I just, you know, when there's 250 games in the season, there's a lot of good stories that happen, you know, in baseball. So
that we're like that we don't care about. Yeah.
No,
All right.
I do. I like to joke how I don't like baseball, but baseball is my first love as a sport. But it's just, I just until
It's
the
too
playoffs
much.
roll around, I just don't tune in. I mean, I did back when my team was top dog, but they have not been top dog for many years. So I just have lost interest in following the whole season. I look at the box score, I see what's going on, but I don't sit down and watch the games of the playoffs roll around because a lot of people will complain, oh, baseball's boring, the final score is 3-2. And it's like, man, you watch a 3-2 game in the playoffs, it's pretty intense from start to finish, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of gearing up for that here, fall weather's coming around, football's back, baseball's about to matter. So
Yeah. You just beat the hottest team in baseball, took a series from them, so thanks a lot for that. All right. So I was talking about UCLA. Let's shift to college football because there was quite a few games. There was not quite a few games that we thought would be a big deal. But let's start with UCLA because that game was over, and all of a sudden Nico's coming back, and then he throws a pick. Like, this has to be hilarious for Tennessee fans who are they just kind of don't want him to make that comeback, right? I would think like they want to make sure
it's too late for them to stay up and watch that, so they're just catching the replays the next morning.
Yeah.
But I mean, anytime you're losing to UNLV, there's some concerns. So maybe UCLA gets it figured out there. I don't know what's going on, but Nico was a highly touted 5-star recruit, and he does not look like he's playing the part. And I know UCLA's talent on the offensive side of the ball is a lot different from the University of Tennessee, but still
a bit.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he does not look like he has settled in at all. So, but hey, it's the way it goes, man. You can't basically be like, all right, I want more money, and then the school that you think is going to just open up the checkbook laughs at you and expect everything's going to be smooth sailing at that point.
Nope, it's bad sailing.
I mean, yeah, at that point, it's like, oh, our plan backfired on us a little bit.
So it was bad sailing for number 17 SMU. I want to ask Alex, whenever I see games going to double overtime, in the college game, Alex, the overtime is set up, I think, awesomely. So basically, number 17 SMU, a ranked team, lost to Baylor 48-45 in double OT. So my question to you is, would you like to see the NFL go to this type of overtime where both team gets the ball at, the 25, I think, and you just go from there? And if it's tied, then you have to go for 2. Then if it's tied, you just go for 2 over and over until a winner happens. You can go to 7 OTs that way. There's no time on the clock. Why would that work for the NFL, or why wouldn't it work?
Well, I think it would just make things more interesting, but I feel like it's too easy at that point when it comes to like scoring, just putting it on the 25. And I just feel like with the NFL, you got to earn it a little bit more than that. Because we're talking about the best of the best, at that point. At least best of the best, like professional athlete wise. Not everyone.
Well, not if it's Russell Wilson or.
Yeah, and seeing even something like that, like Giants should have to earn it. They shouldn't just start off at the 25-yard line. If we're talking about them specifically, the Cowboys, they should have to earn it. They should not be put just at the 25-yard line. And I just
Cowboys
I feel like
there's
a lot of things are just set up in college for maybe, let's see, not the top 1% of the athletes. Just because they're not all on that level. I feel like a lot of things in college they level the playing field, for like the mid-level D1 squads. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. I mean, the pass interference call is a perfect example. They're just like, you got your dude's beat. They're just like, you know what? I'm just going to commit pass interference. It's only a 15-yard penalty. Instead of the NFL, it's like, shit, I'm going to commit pass interference here on the 2-yard line. This is not a good idea. College is just like, oh, I just level my player, practically break his leg, and then it's just going to be a 15-yard penalty. So, oh, by the way, I only have to get 1 foot in when I'm catching balls. So, yeah, it's definitely there's some things I think that they get right, but there's a lot of things where you're 100% right. They're trying to level the playing field for the Baylors and the SMUs and the teams that we're talking about in this week. That there was only one top 25 matchup between two ranked teams, so you've seen a lot of not necessarily parity this week that we saw last week. So I agree.
So speaking of parody, Mike Gundy decided to run his mouth, and I don't know why, because you're playing Oregon. So we all remember Mike Gundy from, it's coming up on, I feel like almost 20 years ago, when he turned 40-ish and said, "I'm a man, I'm 40." That's what everyone remembers. And he's like, he popped 18 veins in his forehead. His face is so red. Well, he decided to.
He said, "That's a kid. That's a kid.
I'm a man. Yeah.
That's a kid giving his all out there, and you damn reporters. You want to come at me? Come at me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
40.
Yeah.
So that's a very famous. That's what he's known for. He's not known for much else. Not winning. I mean, he's okay, but so now he talks. So now he's talking to Dan Lanning about at Oregon. Well, it's all about NIL money. If we had NIL money, we would. And so what does Oregon do? Drop them 69-3. And I looked for the handshake after, and it was actually nice. I was just wondering, like, that seems odd. There should have been more bad blood at the end of that handshake at the end of the game, but they were just fine. So I thought that's weird.
Yeah,
but 69-3.
You're just completely defeated. What are you gonna do at that point?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I would have looked like for a snub. I was wanting a snub so that we could talk about it, but he kind of like flaked out on it. Like, okay, but like, dude, what did you expect? Did you think he was gonna call off the dogs when it was 50-3? Like, no way, dude. Oregon?
Yeah. I mean, what kind of handshake were you kind of looking for there in the end? Are you looking for
maybe a punch?
Maybe a punch. And another thing. I know 55. You just beat us by 70 points, but here's another thing I want to tell you.
Yeah. And another thing, right.
At that point, he's just like tucked his tail between his legs. He's like, "Hey, thanks for just running the ball for the last 5 minutes and just eating the clock here. I was just ready to go home."
But one of those Jim Harbaugh ones where he shakes a hand, kind of pushes the guy out of the way, one of those.
Schwartz. That was Schwartz with the Lions, who's now the D coordinator, I think, at the Cleveland Browns, which we'll talk about later as well. So I got to give a shout out to our girls at Sports Uncorked because they were talking about Florida having a tough schedule. I don't know if they meant that tough schedule, including South Florida, but they lost to them. So, man, that schedule is pretty tough.
They were pretty bullish on that. That schedule.
Look, I'm not calling them out. I'm just because I agree that besides South Florida, their schedule is tough. However, I'm just saying I don't think they assumed that Florida would lose.
Last year, Florida opened up the season with Billy Napier getting into a fist fight with the guy who dresses in the alligator costume in the tunnel, and it was like national news. They were like, "Oh, things have gotten bad," because they lost their opening game last year to whoever they played, Georgia Southern or something. I can't remember who it was. Somebody they shouldn't have lost to, and here they are two second game into this season losing to South Florida. So. Yeah, I don't know what his buyout is, but they're stacking it up right now. He won't be there long.
The other game.
It's funny how you brought up the coach real quick who was complaining about the NIL money. I feel like a lot of these coaches are going to be starting to be hired based on like your NIL, kind of network, so you can network with these companies and bring in some big dough.
Right.
It's true.
One team that does not bring in big dough is Mississippi State, and they found a way to beat Arizona, number 12, Arizona State. So that was the other game that is like lopsided where you're like, how does Mississippi State, like, I think that's where Eric Dampier went. Remember the old Dallas Mavericks center that Shaq called him Erica Dampier? I think he went to Mississippi State, right? If I know my basketball. Yeah. Okay. Well, other than that,
Dak Prescott went to Mississippi State.
There
I
you
mean,
have it. There you have it, folks.
there's been some Dante Jones. Was that his name? I think Dante Jones back in the
Oh,
day. He
yep,
played
yep.
Mississippi State. That was a year Mississippi State went to the Final Four. That was a year it was like Mississippi State and another SEC school, like Ole Miss or something, was in the Final Four. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Um,
So they beat Arizona State. I mean,
but who is? I was watching that. Now, well, let me take that back. I was not watching the game. I was just watching the
on your phone,
graphic,
kind of
the graphics on the ESPN bounce back and forth. Oh, here's a little
the
something
football
happened.
move on the green screen.
And I was just thinking, like, who is Arizona State? Like, why are they ranked 12th? They had Scadaboo last year. Like, is this again? Like, are we basing off last year's team? Like, who? That's my thing. Is Arizona State going to be ranked at the end of the year? I don't know. Everybody's making a big deal about Mississippi State winning that game, and I was like, well, I mean, maybe Arizona State is just not that good.
Right.
But I mean, my team. I feel like my team should be ranked. My team is. If they're not ranked after this week with Baylor beating SMU,
right? That's a good win.
They should be ranked. Yeah.
Yes.
They should be ranked.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if they make it in the top 25. I'm fine with even 25. Just give me 25. Just give us a taste
and work
give
from
us a
there.
Taste.
Yeah.
Give us a number. Put a number by our name. It's been a while.
So then, where does Michigan go to? Because I don't know. It's hard to say if Michigan's going to be good. They were ranked number 15. They lost at number 18, Oklahoma. We all thought that was going to happen. They lost 24-13. They didn't really look that good. So my question is Michigan going to be that good? We don't think they're going to run the table the rest of the way and then play Ohio State and, but their schedule, they don't play the Oregons. They don't play, they don't play those teams. So they could go into that Ohio State game and be undefeated other than this one loss. They could.
See, that's my problem. That's my problem. My problem is here you have, Oregon coming over to the Big Ten, and then you have Michigan not even playing them. Come on, man. Like, what is that? Like that. Again, I know everybody gets tired of the SEC homers like me, but that shit does not fly in the SEC, and it's like
they all can't play Vanderbilt.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Although Vanderbilt is a lot better.
Was that a Saban quote? Somebody said that. That was a quote by a coach. I can't remember who said it.
I just quoted it. Ti. I don't know.
Okay. Saban said something like that at one point because he wouldn't ever schedule anybody outside of the conference, but he would always make reference to some of the in-house teams. But that's kind of my thing. Like we were talking about the episode, prior about Oklahoma and some of these schools that have come over. It's like once you play the SEC, you get kind of used to playing tougher competition. So when you go up against a Michigan or somebody else, where people are like, okay, maybe they're gonna surprise you, like you handle your business, and I kind of feel like Mississippi State, that's their thing. They play tough competition all the time, so going up against Arizona State is really nothing to them,
So I'm going to leave you guys with this last stat for our college football to end the college football here. And that is the no competition. Ohio State, get this, Ohio State and Alabama, their combined scores this week was 143-0. 143-0. That I don't know if I've seen that in a while of scoring that much and not even giving up a field goal. I mean,
you can add Florida State into the mix too, because they were 77-0. So yeah, Alabama was 73, Florida State was 77, Ohio State was like 70. Yeah,
that's I mean, what are we doing?
You think the teams that just get their ass whooped like that? I mean, it's like the biggest party. Because, like, what else are you going to do at that point?
Yeah. Oh, get hammered. Yeah.
Coach is in the locker room at halftime. He's like passing out NIL bills to him. He's like, look at all this money we just made.
Yeah, that too.
That's all it is, I mean, the schools get paid big time bucks, But then every now and then, a school tries to hire, one of these guys for a homecoming game and then ends up eating their words, It always
Appalachian
happens.
State.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's happened to Notre Dame. I think it's happened to
Marshall,
Florida. I think it happened to Auburn. Happened to Auburn with like freaking New Mexico A&M or something. A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, well, we're going to schedule this jobber for our homecoming, and
oops,
not
they
only
beat you on a field goal.
pay this team tons of money to come here on our homecoming to beat us. Now our students are mad at us.
All right, let's shift to NFL. Reminder to follow Sports Idiot Nation wherever you get your social media. We got Wrestling Idiot Nation, Turtles Idiot Nation. Reminder, as we get talking about football, I'm going to talk about my idiots at every turn, and we're going to talk fantasy football. Remember to follow Alex. You don't need to follow the thing I always tell you, that you don't need to follow 18 people. You just need to follow one, and he's freaking right here with us. So shut your lips and follow him. All right, so here's the first thing I want to get into. Aaron Rodgers. Like, I watched that game because it was before the 49er game, and I was at the bar watching like 19 games at once, and I was just glued because they were down to the Jets, and who's making plays but Justin Fields? I'm like, what is happening? He's throwing to guys looking like Ohio State Justin Fields. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? And then they kind of run out of juice. Aaron Rodgers just makes plays, and you look up and he's got 4 touchdowns, and he's like mocking the fans as he's leaving, like with Mike Tomlin. It's hilarious. Like, is old school Aaron Rodgers back? Like, he's making like his throws were off balance. He was moving. He didn't do any of that with the Jets. If I'm a Jets fan, I got to be like, dude, where was this? I know you got hurt, but when you came back, or like, where was this? It was just crazy. Alex, what did you think?
Well, he got hurt. Like, that's what it was. Like, I mean, he missed the whole season. Obviously he got hurt then.
But when he came back,
got hurt in preseason last year. Like, he wasn't even himself, like, going into the season. So, like, and also their offensive lines, like, been revamped for this year. Like, there's just so many things on why their team is actually better, like, right now. And teams just having to account for the quarterback, that's always going to open the running game, like account for the quarterback rushing wise. Like, it's always going to open up some extra lanes for the running back, and Breece Hall killed it, and that kind of like just kept the chains moving a lot. And yeah, man, Aaron Rodgers is healthy and he looks like he's having fun out there. The Steelers aren't even that good. Their line is like pretty garbage.
Right.
And they got DK and Calvin Austin, and like, I mean, you got a couple wide receiver, a couple tight ends over there, but yeah, it's Ben Skronek scores the first touchdown, like he's just
guess where he's
involved.
from. Guess where he's from, Alex?
Mississippi State.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
Homestead High School, about 8 minutes that way to me. Like, seriously, when I saw that, and he recovered the fumble. He recovered a key fumble as well. That after they kicked off, they fumbled it, and who recovers but Fort Wayne, Ben Skronek. That was awesome. And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You should reach out to him, get him on the show.
Oh, he won't come on our show.
Hey man,
he's too cool.
I'm from where you were from.
The Steelers, they're gonna win at least their 9 games. I mean, this was one of them. Look at them win the close game. That's how they do.
I know.
Yeah,
you like Aaron Rodgers though, don't you?
Yeah, I do like Aaron Rodgers, man. He's fun to watch, man. He's just pure passer. Doesn't buy into the hype and buy into the nonsense. I mean, he's a diva, but I mean, most
goes into his cave.
Most top 10, all time kind of QBs, I think, have their own diva qualities to some degree. I mean, look at him and Favre, both had their own things going on. But I mean, for just watching the game, just appreciating the way that a quarterback's supposed to play the game. I mean, he's a prototypical, puts the team on his back, and he doesn't always deliver when it matters. But if there's anybody that you can count on to give you a shot in hell to get it done with the game on the line, I think he's one of the guys that would always be in favor of where I would roll the dice at. So yeah, I like watching him, man. He's fun.
We're not going to talk too much more about we're not going to talk too much more about Aaron Rodgers, but I got to say, he got a bad rap for like not getting things done, in the playoffs when like Tampa Bay beats them, but he has like 3 times the stats as Tom Brady, but their defense just suck balls, like, I mean, so I feel like he gets a bad rap for a lot of that when most of the teams that he played on, their defense was absolutely dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even a couple of those Packers defeats. Granted, the ones where the Niners were just running all over him, but I mean, just there were just times that you were just like, all right, well, Aaron Rodgers is doing his job, but nobody else on the other side of the ball is doing anything, So
yeah, he needed
I
Giselle
agree.
to step in.
Yeah.
Needed Giselle to step in and tweet for him. All right.
Can you imagine Aaron Rodgers being married to somebody like Giselle? Oh
like
man,
Giselle, yes.
They're just. I mean, him and Brady are obviously different people, but
yeah,
still,
he's
that
way
would be
too
hilarious.
private. Yeah. All right. I want to talk through the Giants and then the Colts, like that dynamic of that fan base, both fan bases having to be like both living in like a weird dimension where I don't know if New York Giants fans thought that they would be. I mean, they know they have a tough schedule. They know that they have like a lot of quarterbacks. They have a young one. But I don't know. Russell Wilson, Alex, so from a fantasy standpoint, is there any chance that people would get Russell Wilson?
Well, no. I mean, even if you're in a super flex league or something, like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people might have him ranked 30th, 31, 32, so even if you're in a 12-team league.
No, that's Rattler.
That's Spencer you're still only starting 24 guys. So Russ Wilson, I don't think is going to be, started a bunch, but there's a bunch of problems over there. Like Russell Wilson isn't the only problem. I mean, their defense looks like a little bit better because of like some of the additions, but facing the Commandos, who got one of the, dopest offenses in the league in their defense.
Debo, my guy.
Dude, they did great with Terry McLaurin pretty much getting shut out. But that shows, I mean, the Giants do got some good cornerbacks, though. I think they're going to give some of the number 1 wide receivers on the team some fits this year.
Yeah, and that front four is good.
Let's be real, though. If they open up 0-4,
no one will be surprised.
It's Jackson Dart's team at that point. They'll just roll over at that point. Be like, all right, let the rookie start. And again, I don't know, man. I just feel like when you have 3 possible candidates that could be your starting quarterback on the roster, like you got some issues. I mean, I feel like they should have just gave it to Jackson from the start and shipped Jameis and just let Russ be the backup. But here they are now with 3. I'm not going to say starting caliber quarterbacks, but there's 3 quarterbacks who could start for them on the roster, which a lot of teams don't really get. So I think that's a problem.
But what's your guys' thoughts about putting a quarterback in there on a dog shit team with a dog shit line with only Malik Neighbors? Like I feel like you could ruin a quarterback's psyche before he even gets like acclimated to the NFL that way.
Yeah. Oh, you could.
Well, but you drafted him. I mean, I guess, okay, I'll say this. You got
him for 5 years, though. Like, no matter how you're slicing it, you got him for 5 years.
That's what I was going to say is at least for 8 weeks or 6 weeks, you could let the other guy like Russell Wilson go. Let him hold the clipboard. Let him learn. If there's also games where it's 40-10, either you're up or you're down, probably you're down, that you throw him in and let him look at real, not preseason NFL defenses and let him in there, So
I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have been Patrick Mahomes without like sitting that first year, but he says that helped him learn how to be like prepare for the defenses. Like he even learned how to check the ball down from like Alex Smith. Like he never checked the ball down before, learning how to do that from Alex Smith.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, it's also Kansas City had a much better team than what New York does in general too. But yeah, and that schedule, dude. That schedule is brutal. It's literally the toughest schedule in the NFL. So, all right, I want to
play 2 of the top NFC playoff teams just in your division.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So let's shift to the Dolphins. No one saw this coming, especially me. I picked the Dolphins to win that game, and I live in Indiana, so I know a lot about the Colts against my will. And I did not see this coming. At one point it was it 33-0? Was it 27, something like that?
20
Like
something to 0.
Miami got like just a touchdown, a 2-point conversion when it was like over. But my gosh, I mean, how could
That
you
line
not
is
be ready for Mike McDaniel? I don't
Their
get it.
line's trash. Like, their line's horrible. They
Tua
can't
just out
protect Tua
there.
for shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
gonna be bad.
I feel like the Dolphins kind of have earned this because they knew they should have stepped in with the Tua situation and been more adamant and been like, all right, bro, we gotta move forward, we gotta move on. This is not gonna work. And now they're stuck trying to put the pieces together of an offense that was clicking 2 years ago, and it's not going to work
It
with
is
him. I don't think. He's just one hit away, and I think that plays into his play. In his mind, I'm sure it's on the minds of all the coaches. I'm sure there's this concern all the time every time he runs out the pocket. I don't know. I was shocked. I will say that I was shocked at that score. Not only just because I thought the Dolphins would win, but obviously just the Colts. I know we were joking on Danny Dimes, but he looked like the second coming of Joe Montana out there. So whatever. We'll see if the Colts keep it up, or maybe the Dolphins are just that bad.
That's what I want to ask you, T.I. Is it more about Miami being bad, or is it more? I know it's week 1, so the answer is I don't know. But what does your gut say? Is it more about Indy being good or Miami being bad?
My history is on the side of Daniel Jones underperforming, so I'm going to say it's Miami just being a really bad team. But we've also seen contract year Danny Dimes, who can get the job done. So, I mean, he forced the New York Giants into paying that guy. They didn't want to pay him. His play, his contract year forced them into paying him. And now look where he's at. He's like they're just hoping it works out in Indy. So yeah, I think it's from my week 1 gut says it's Dolphins are that bad, but
are we sponsored by that water? You were holding it up for 18 minutes. I was just curious.
Well, I was talking. I had one sip
it's
left.
Not a mic, bro. It's not a mic.
Yeah. We are not. This is Great Value.
Man. All right.
We're not sponsored by Great Value.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say, if you are targeting, like with your wide receivers, if you're trying to figure out like teams that you should make sure to always start like certain players against, you always want to start wide receivers against Miami. I dare you guys to just guess one cornerback that they have on their team.
Yeah, exactly.
You know why? Their second cornerback, his name is Storm Duck. Like, it sounds like a fucking made up fucking name. And like, if anybody guessed Storm Duck, like, man, I would give you a lot of money just for even having that that answer.
Yeah,
but
he's
my horrible.
Favorite.
Jack Jones. I mean, he was like the 4th cornerback on like the Raiders last year or something. He's like their number 1 cornerback. Like they're dog shit in the cornerback department.
Yeah, Alex Storm Duck is one of my favorite Avengers. So I like his superpowers.
Yeah.
One of those superpowers ain't playing football, but if he could fly,
or he sounds like a character on the DuckTales show that all of them would watch on TV. Like, oh, hey, let's gather around the TV. We're gonna watch a new episode of Storm Duck.
Right after DuckTales. All right, let's go to Joe Burrow tales, because he had to be excited. The preseason, he thought, oh man, he's calling himself out. Like, oh man, I'm playing the best right now. I'm the best quarterback right now. And then they have to play the Cleveland defense. And I got to give Cleveland defense props. I mean, I was wondering what they were going to do, and they didn't like shut them down, and they did lose. But dude, Cleveland defense is no joke whatsoever. And I thought, they just played really well. They almost, dude, I kind of wanted them to pull it out. Didn't you kind of just like want them to win just because?
No, but they shouldn't have missed that field goal. They would have won. They had it.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Right in the palm of their hands. But the secondary is legit for the Browns. I mean, Denzel Ward, he's one of the best cover corners in the league,
Yeah,
and
man.
shut down Jamar Chase and Higgins whenever they were playing on his side, and that front Myles Garrett, he got those 2 sacks on the back-to-back plays, and it's a beast.
Yeah, that defense is legit. Watch the numbers for the Bengals offense compared to that week 1 game. It's going to be night and day. Like, there's not a defense like that. I don't think that they're going to play. But man, the Browns are still like the Charlie Browniest, where they just find a way to just not really get it done, but like, oh, okay, like you tried. The mistake on the lake.
For fantasy, though, Dylan Sampson, man, that guy's a savage. I mean, I know they're getting Quinshon Judkins back, but it's probably going to be a 1-2 punch between those guys.
That's all they had. Like their backup scored a touchdown or something. His name was like Storm or something, wasn't it? It was Sanders. I don't know, something Storm Sanders.
Raheem Sanders, yeah.
Yeah, I guess his nickname. But yeah, they were talking about on the radio. They were like, they're like, all right, in a day where Jerome Ford gets it down to the 1 and everybody's expecting Samson to punch it in, we get this guy that nobody is using.
Samsonite. I was way off. So let's go through the little Titan that almost could. Before the show, I was really giving the Titans some props because I did not see that going that well, where they'd be like winning for freaking half the game. I mean, I know they got a rookie quarterback. I know, he didn't play. He's better than Will Levis. That's a known thing. They're gonna be okay. I was actually impressed though. We'll let T.I. talk in a second about the Titans, but Alex, since you're not like a homer for the Titans, I was curious, like what you thought of the Bronco Titans game.
Well, I mean, I already knew that the Titans defense is dope. I mean, I play in a lot of IDP leagues with defensive players, and you got Cody Barton who just came over there. He was one of the studs on the Broncos last year. So him just even knowing kind of how the team worked a little bit, I'm sure helped him out and guys around him. You got L'Jarius Sneed over there, who once upon a time was like one of the best cornerbacks like in the league, and Simmons, and I forget the guy's first name, but Sweat, whoever their nose tackle is, like he's a beast. And
Meatloaf.
There you go.
Meatloaf. Tavondre. Yeah. They got some good players. Hooker's good. Monty Hooker's good.
And Xavier Woods, they got him over there now. But I think Bo Nix, I mean, that's probably the biggest storyline here. Is so many people in fantasy thought Bo Nix is going to be like a top 6, top 7 guy. And now you got a year worth of tape on him. And he does face a good secondary, in this game. But I feel like that's why a lot of these QBs get the sophomore slumps is you got a year worth of tape on these guys. You can really break down their tendencies. And if the play calling doesn't take a step up, usually those QBs kind of, plateau a little bit.
Well, Sean Payton, don't you think Sean Payton can elevate him?
I mean, you would think so. I mean, this is just game 1, but and it's a really good defense. But they got good defenses in their entire division. I mean,
but but do we give Sean Payton a little too much credit for Drew Brees?
I don't know.
Like Drew Brees is like Drew freaking Brees. I mean, Sean Payton
he wasn't in San Diego. He wasn't like all. Wasn't like all world.
I mean, but we saw him in Purdue. I mean, dude, there's one game where he completed like 60 passes or something.
Chargers are idiots.
So
gotta remember that part.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
I agree.
Every show that Alex is a part of, we find a way to just dump on the Chargers.
So I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, are we just assuming that the Bo Nix is Drew Brees caliber QB? Because I mean, we can't just assume that Sean Payton's going to elevate.
I don't think.
But I'm with Alex. I'd say that all the time with folks. I say that first year tape is so invaluable, and it's just like it doesn't matter what you're doing out there, or RG3 or Vince Young or whoever's changing the game at that moment. Once they get that footage on you, once they look at your tendencies, they can scheme you. They can scheme you right out of the game. They can force you to run the ball, and I think that was what happened with Bo Nix today. And I don't think the Bo Nix is like the second coming of going to be the next Hall of Fame quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, but I mean, obviously I saw him at Auburn, and then he transferred and went to Oregon. It was good for him for his career, obviously, but I saw a guy who couldn't get the job done in the SEC, and he went over to Oregon, where they don't really play defense. Granted that Oregon has joined the Big Ten, where they play a little more defense, but during that time frame,
yeah,
Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-15, whoever they were, like
whatever.
There's a reason why the final scores were like 70-65. So that's all my thing is. I'm just saying, like, let's just see how this year pans out before we try to anoint Sean Payton or Bo Nix, because they may have some growing pains this season, and I think, I'm not saying the Titans exposed it by any means, but it is week 1. I did tell at the watch party, I did tell people before the game, I said I'd rather play the Broncos week 1 than week 8. So
yeah.
And look at CJ Stroud. That's like a real recent example of, someone who everyone thought was just going to be like untouchable in the NFL in his second year. Like, man, I mean, just a lot more sacks, a lot more interceptions. I mean, just more tape and more scheming, the QB's out.
So, Alex, you're going to shake your head at me. I have CJ Stroud and I have Chargers, Herbert. And guess who I sat? Just take a guess.
Well, I think we know.
The guy you shouldn't have sat. If you asked me, I would have told you before that game, like, you're starting Herbert.
But, okay, so walk me through this, because you got Steve Spagnuolo over there with the Chiefs. It's week 1. They're going to be fired up. You got the missing tackle for the Chargers. You got a washed-up Keenan Allen who proved that wrong. He played well. You got, like, unknown running back, whatever. Like, I thought that maybe he wouldn't do that well against – you got CJ Stroud coming out, like, not having to travel to another country and ready to play well. I thought.
In LA, though, man, people go to LA and Miami. You got to remember these guys, they're going to go out and party a little bit.
Well, that's maybe what happened, because dude had like 9 fantasy points and Justin Herbert had like 27. So I'm like, that's.
Well, we also got to follow the money a little bit. Like, I really think that people are just stupid when they're like, Justin Herbert's not going to be a thing because Jim Harbaugh's just going to run the ball. You don't pay a guy as much as you pay him and then, like, not let him cook, at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
absolutely. He played great.
I learned my lesson for sure.
Chiefs defense definitely getting exposed. They're not what they once were. Like, when they had L'Jarius Sneed over there and he could take away half the field, made it a lot easier to scheme against players and against quarterbacks.
Yeah, and back before that, they had Mooney Ward, and now he's with the Colts after he left the 49ers. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the Chiefs. All right, the other big game that ended up not being big, and Micah Parsons, the Micah Parsons project, that I'll toot my own horn. I'm not being a hater. No one needs to hate on the Detroit Lions. That's like Michigan hating on Michigan State. It's like the Yankees and their championships hating on the Red Sox. It's like, you don't need to do it. I don't need to hate on the Lions. All I'm doing is keeping it real. Let's go over what they lost. Like, 3 guys on defense, their starting center, their defensive coach, their offensive coach. Dude, they just lost a lot. It's not their time anymore. They're not used to understanding what a playoff window looks like because, they've never had one. And that's not hate. It's just life. And I just don't think Detroit, along with their schedule, is going to be all that. And I totally thought they'd lose by at least 10 points. And sure enough, they just didn't have it. And watch out for Green Bay is my thought. And I'm not happy about that because I hate Green Bay. I'd rather Detroit be better. But Alex, did that game shock you or no?
No, it didn't shock me. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. What shocks me is how the media is making Micah Parsons like the second coming, of Jesus playing defense. Because he got 1 sack, like, whoop-de-fucking-do, like, that's good. Like, I mean, yeah, he's on pace for 17 sacks as of right now. But he got 1 sack, and it was like, like, put the crown on him. He's already in the Hall of Fame. And, like, for fantasy, he only got 11 points, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not great. And I just think it's real weird how the narrative around Micah Parsons is he's the best defensive player in the league. He's not.
He's going to play more, though, to be fair, he didn't play like I remember when he went into the game, he got like a standing ovation. I'm thinking, wow, there's a lot of time that just went by in the game. This is the first time he's going in. Like he didn't play like every single down or even close. I mean, because they just got him 8 minutes ago. But so, and again, I'm not a Micah Parsons lover. I don't know. Is there a chance that he can be that good with their scheme and what they're trying to do? I mean, here's what's funny.
I need to see
Green
him.
Bay stuffed the run, I thought, pretty well. After losing the guy that went to Dallas, they made all this big thing, like the guy in the middle. And then who gave up a lot of yards up the middle was Dallas. And they, supposedly having that guy, and Green Bay looked fine on defense.
Well, they have that younger guy. I forget his name off the top of my head, but that's why they got rid of what's his name, Kenny Clark or whatever. Yeah, but I know Micah Parsons. I just don't think he has it in him to have a TJ Watt season. Like that's who we're talking about when we're talking about
work ethic. You mean like work ethic wise, or what? I mean,
no, I just don't think that he's ever been put in that position to where he's going to be getting 20 plus sacks. Like I know he missed some games, last year, and maybe he doesn't miss those games, but I just don't see it. He gets to because all these teams are just like preparing for him mainly, and he'll get the QB hits and he gets really close, but it's like actually finishing, like we're going to be hearing all about Micah Parsons' sack tomorrow. And then like the Myles Garrett, sacks on back-to-back plays. Like, I don't even know how often that happens. It's pretty rare, but we probably won't even hear about that tomorrow or today.
Right. Well, Green Bay was going to be good. I thought. Again, I hate saying that. I hate Green Bay, but even without that, any of that, I mean, I just thought they were going to be pretty good this year because Detroit was going to take a step back. Minnesota, I'm not sold on them. We'll find out tonight. We'll talk about that game here in a little bit, but I mean, we'll see. The NFC North is interesting. T.I., you'd love Micah Parsons on the Titans, right, T.I.?
Yeah, I like Micah Parsons. I think he's good. I mean, obviously, just there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, more than we'll probably ever know. And in Dallas, he just obviously did not like Jerry Jones one bit, and that was just never going to work out, it seems like, because how do you not really work that out? But when it comes to, I think, the return on investment, I think Green Bay is measuring it in playoff victories. They want Micah conditioned for the playoffs, and they want him to come through in the playoffs, because to them, living up to the contract, living up to the money, I don't think that matters to them. They wanted to bring him there because they see him as a missing piece. And that's my whole thing, is like they've been playing around for a while. They've been making all kind of trades. They've acquired a lot of draft picks. They had a lot of capital. They had the money to make the move, and they thought it was worth the investment. So now, if they don't win the playoffs, then it doesn't matter how many sacks Micah Parsons gets, because it just doesn't mean anything. And I think that's the whole return on investment. So if they can get a playoff victory or two out of it, then it's a win for them. But yeah, we'll just see how that goes, But I think he's going to be happier playing there. At least the fans are going to treat him. Fans are going to treat him differently. That's for sure.
Yeah. Green Bay is all about their football.
When I went to Lambeau, man, the fans were just amazing. So I mean, I can imagine the way they treat their players. If they treat out of town fans the way they treat their players, the way they treat out of town fans, then he'll be just fine there.
And they're already talking about the defensive moves that were made in the last two times the Packers won like the Super Bowls. So it's like all the Packers fans, as the stars aligning, they're getting one of the best D linemen in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But like I said, they got to win the playoff games, or it doesn't mean anything.
Damn right.
So speaking of playoff game, there was the famous playoff game against the Cowboys that the 49ers, their infamous The Catch, right? Dwight Clark went up, and what happens? The backup tight end, because George Kittle can't stay healthy, never has caught a pass. He has the same amount of caught passes of everyone on this podcast. The same. And then all he does is catch the game-winning touchdown in the same exact form of Dwight Clark comes down with it, and the 49ers win in Seattle after having the ball for almost 40 minutes of the game, and Sam Darnold looking pretty pedestrian, threw for less than 150 yards and had one play that went for 50. So basically, you take that away and threw for about $1. Like, I just am not sold on Sam Darnold after the 49ers defense made him look pretty pedestrian. And I'm going against Kenneth Walker. And every time he had the ball, I'm like, 2-yard gain, Fred Warner, heat-seeking missile. I'm excited for the 49ers because they didn't play that well, and they still were able to get a win. I don't think the Seahawks are going to be as great. I can't wait to hear Colin Cowherd later today because he's all about the Seahawks, all because he used to live there. Like, dude, come on. You have a nationally syndicated show. You can't just be talking about, oh, the Rams and the Seahawks are going to be really good. Like, dude, get out of here. Like, just funny. So that was always fun. Alex, you were on Facebook and you said do not start CMC, and I didn't listen, and I'm happy.
Well, no, what I said at the time, it's because he missed practice. And so I said, as of now, we got to be mentally prepared to not start CMC. But we also got to be prepared listening to the news because that was Friday. And then so the next day, they said all signs are pointing to him starting this morning or Sunday morning. All signs are pointing to him playing, and so like that's all we kept hearing from him and then from the coaches. So like if you listened to me on Friday, but you didn't show up on Sunday to my live stream, that's where you messed up, everybody. Make sure you're following me every day because news changes every day and news changes almost every hour when it gets to like Friday.
On some of that stuff, yeah, for sure. So CMC
I
got me the win.
I flipped into my flex. That way I had, at the last minute, if I had to change him, I had made sure I had somebody that was playing in the 3 o'clock hour that I could rotate the last second. And that was my bailout. But I didn't catch that until last minute. I was just looking at my line. I was like, well, I hope he plays. And I'm like, well, shit. Why not just take him out of running back, flip him to flex, and whoever I had, O'Doonsey or somebody. I don't know who I had that was going to be available, but I was like, at least I have someone who is available for emergency purposes.
And hopefully you guys play on Sleeper where they have this tool. It's called the auto sub. And if you can use it depending on your league 1, 2, or 3 times. And so I had CMC set to auto sub out if he did not play. Some of my options were kind of dog shit, but if he didn't play, it would have put at least someone in that I had available at the same time or after.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to go. I was just glad for a guy not scoring a touchdown. He sure scored a lot of points fantasy wise. So I was pretty happy. I mean, catching the ball out of the freaking backfield, man, he's always on that choice route. They should just call it the McCaffrey. Like, that dude is the best at the choice route, going inside or outside. And they must, obviously they practice that. It's pretty unstoppable no matter what. It's unstoppable against divisional opponents at Seattle. They've played them, they know, and they still couldn't stop it. So, like, I love it. You love to see it. So, all right, let's talk tonight because Bears, Vikings. I never really get that excited for a Bears-Vikings game, but both teams are on the up and up, supposedly. Now, J.J. McCarthy, we're not sure. I'm going up against Justin Jefferson, and I'm up. I have T.J. Hawkinson going, and he has Minnesota defense, and I'm up 20 points. And I have T.J. going. He has J.J. and the Vikings defense, so obviously I'm nervous. Alex, do you give me a shot to win this?
I like to smoke a lot of weed is what I like to do when I'm in situations, like this.
Like
so
that? Like,
I'll say, maybe don't be glued to the TV throughout all the time. Might stress yourself out a little bit. Maybe you just take a little break at certain points whenever they're on offense. Don't look. Sometimes that works.
Don't look. Well, here's what's tough. I have TJ Hawkinson, and like that. So when Minnesota's on offense, I am
You kind of
intrigued
have to
because
look.
I want it to go to him, but they're obviously going to give targets to JJ, and I'm like,
for sure.
you know.
One thing that you got going for you is he's going up against Tyreek Stevenson, who, maybe kind of fell back a little bit last year because like some injuries, but he is a pretty good cover corner, and I'm sure all the emphasis is going to be on JJ.
Right, because Addison's suspended, so that maybe they put all the onus on him. I don't know. Ti, do you have a prediction for Bears Vikings?
Caleb Williams, orange painted nails.
Going with the orange nails.
I bet Caleb throws a nice pick to Byron Murphy Jr. I bet we see one from him while he's trying to force feed DJ Moore at some play.
So
DJ Moore is interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to work out. Him and Caleb Williams, it's just a weird fit. DJ Moore was like unstoppable. He goes to Chicago. I know he had a decent second half last year, but I don't know. I think he's got time to build with Odenzi, but I don't know if DJ Moore and him are ever have the chemistry. So yeah, it's funny you said forcing one to DJ Moore because I see that too.
So it's interesting that the Vikings are getting 1.5 points, and it's at Chicago.
Yeah.
So Vegas thinks that the Vikings are gonna win by less than a field goal. Obviously, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Might have a shootout like Ravens Bills, or we might have a 17-14 game.
Yeah, like a shootout, like 2.0, or like just half the version of that. Their shooouts like 17-20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, because of all the incomplete passes. Yeah. I am interested to see the real JJ McCarthy. It's not preseason anymore. This is the real deal. The Bears defense is getting better. They're going to be better than last year, I think. Like, I don't know. I don't know, how he's going to do, Monday Night Football. That I don't want a guy like that first game being Monday Night Football. I'll tell you that right now. On the road against a divisional opponent, no thank you. Like, no thank you. That's not what I want. So, which is why they tried to sign Sam Darnold back, probably. So, I think the Bears win. I think Ben Johnson will get the offense going enough. Not like Lamar Jackson in the first half last night, but like I think they'll hum a little bit where they'll get, 2 scores and a punt and then a field goal. And it's like, okay, they got 17 points in that 20-minute span or whatever. I think they have the ability to do that. But I don't know. Either way, I think it'll be close. So we'll have to see. All right, let's get out of here on this because we got to talk about this Philadelphia Phillies lady, and just like she has entered in a new realm of Karen, where I think if you Wikipedia Karen, her picture, I mean the short hair, you almost feel bad for her. Like, dude, you had to do that. You had to go have short hair when you're doing something like that. So if you live in a cave and you don't know what's going on, over the weekend, there was a home run ball hit, and here's the exact thing that happened. Let's say it was in section 120. This lady's in 120, and a guy from 118, so not the section, runs over, gets the ball, and gives it to his son. It's his birthday. They are embracing in full hug, and the Karen in 118, where the ball was hit, comes over, confronts him. It's on camera. It went viral. She's yelling at him. He's terrified at first. She taps him. If you look at the video, he's like this at first. He doesn't know what's happening, and then he's listening. He looks over at the kid. The kid's got the ball in his glove, still smiling, and the smile goes from a smile to like, oh, what? I got to give you the ball? And they do, and she walks away with the ball. And then it works out great for the kid because the Bader, who hit the home run, he ends up meeting the kid. He gives him a bat. The team comes by and gives him like a gift package for his birthday. He ends up just fine. That boy is fine. However, this is so foul to take it when you know it's from a kid, because the ball wasn't hit in your section. it was hit in my section. Like, at what point are you allowed to hit a woman, Ti?
Well, with a baseball bat or not a baseball bat?
I mean,
No.
dude. I mean, you're not
Um,
supposed to hit a woman,
the
but dude,
the
I don't
the
know, man.
best part about it was the Florida Marlins, like mid-game, saw it happen,
Yeah, and security went over, asked if he was
and
okay.
and they like gave him all the stuff, and then they made a spectacle out of it. Why this woman is
right there,
two
watching the whole thing,
two rows
like,
over,
shrinking like
she's
Bartman.
She's like, oh great, and now they're saying like she lost her job and all that, but they're also I've also
fake
seen,
though. I think
I was gonna say I've seen reports where she's been misidentified, but I mean, how do you misidentify that lady? Because I think if that lady works for you.
Yeah, it's
definitely
gonna be awkward. It's gonna be awkward today.
If she doesn't work for you, she has asked to speak to your manager before. So
yeah, she has sent it back. She has sent food back.
I guess I'm just wondering, like, why did they give it back to her?
I think I saw the video. You can kind of see on the dad's face. I think the dad was like, he was just like, just go away.
Yeah,
he was like,
oh,
he was like, yeah. He even you can see in his face. He even has this look like, just fine. Just
public
just
shaming is like the best way that you can like really get back at people. And she was in an area where she could have been. Well, I mean, she has been public shamed.
Now,
so there's a bunch of people recording that with their phones, and it's all over TikTok as well as all over the mainstream media.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, man. She might as well went to a Coldplay concert.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where like everyone's talking about it. We had to give our take.
You gotta just in those moments, man. You either you embrace the role as the villain, or you just flip the script and just, oh, this is a lack of judgment. I can't believe I did that. Blah 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 blah. So it just depends on how she handles this now, because I mean, she is everywhere. She's everywhere, and that was not her intentions going to that baseball game.
She looks pretty old, so maybe it's one of those. Maybe she's already been the hero long enough that she's turned into the villain in real life.
That's right.
There you go. A la Batman.
Yeah, she's like always a spectator, but never a foul ball receiver.
She's been trying to
run.
Home run.
She's like always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Always a foul ball, never a home run.
yeah. She's like, I just want that one home run, but But I mean, kudos to Dad. He clearly had not been partaking in alcoholic beverages with his son present that day, because I would have been partaking in alcoholic beverages, and I probably would have. I probably would have been on the other end of the jumbotron in that situation. Been like, oh man, that's really crazy that lady did that. But did you see how that dad reacted? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm glad that's not my dad.
Yeah,
I would have
been that from her.
We're not supposed to hit women, for sure. But I think I would have tried to be like Stan Marsh's dad in that episode where, what do you want to do, huh? What do you want to do? I thought this is America.
What do you want to do about it? Yeah,
this is America for sure.
He's like, Stan, I'm going to have to fight tomorrow. He's like, no, you're not. You don't have to. It's like goes up against the rival dad,
The Bat Dad.
Yeah, the Bat Dad. That's right, the Bat Dad.
The Bat Dad is back. He's divorced and got a new girlfriend. The Bat Dad is back on social media making videos out of from a 5-year hiatus.
I like it.
So yeah, I have reached out. He did message back, and then I asked him to be on the podcast, and no response. So I'm thinking that's a no from the Bat Dad. But understand, I can show you the screenshot. I did reach out.
He got excited. He got excited for a second. He thought you were about to buy a cameo from him or something, And he was like,
you're gonna have to buy a cameo, and then you might have to go to Coors Field, where he frequents a lot.
Yeah. Hey, we'll make it happen. Reminder, new episodes of Sports Idiot Nation comes to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Follow Alex for all things fantasy football. He can get you right in where you are starting Justin Herbert over CJ Stroud. I learned my lesson. I already picked up the 49ers defense, not just because they're that great, but also they are playing New Orleans next. So I feel like that's pretty good pretty good pickup for the old waiver wire. But follow us on social media. Follow all of our Idiot Nations reminders every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means we will see you Wednesday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
you would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.